Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log, Subdate 210910.7. Do any of you have any idea at all, how much fun it is to essentially assimilate another ship and liquefy the entire crew? If not, go try it. It's a right laugh. Welcome everyone to This Week at Twitter, or Twat. Today we're going to start with a random block of the week, although over the course of the week I found 3. So I'll save one for next week and I'll forget about the other one because I'm too lazy to put them all here. So for this we go to a tweet from Cindy. Orgies fans are some of the dumbest population group on the internet sphere. Better use, air quote, free protection and air quote, block. Now I have no personal opinion on that particular image thread. Not even slightly. I have no opinion of Orgy either. I've never spoken to him. I know very little of him. But I did notice a reply that I was unable to see from Diamond Heart. Those kind of morons are basically what Orgy fans are made up of. Overly offensive and racist humor is their go-to response if you dare speak out against him. With Cindy pointing out that perhaps in the future they'll have to nuke their accounts because deleting apps need to be paid for. But I didn't see the Diamond Heart tweet because I'm blocked. Okay, hi. Don't know what I did, but never mind, it doesn't matter. I just like to show off every so often that I'm blocked randomly by some people I have never heard of, nor interacted with. Mostly because it helps fuel my rather large ego, but also because I like to prove the point. I only have one person blocked on my account. That person deserves to be blocked by everyone. Stalking is unacceptable. But I will never go out of my way to block people because not only am I too lazy, but the fabled mute button exists for a reason. So next we move on to Sasha E. Head. I honestly think this is unforgivable. Accompanying this tweet is an image of an Apple wireless mouse being charged from underneath, meaning the mouse is of no use to anyone while it's charging. Now I have many issues with this. Let's just go with the two obvious ones. It's made by Apple, which means the sheeple will buy it anyway. And 2, it's a wireless mouse, which means you're not a gamer. We know you're not, because no one uses that unless they're incredibly stupid. The last thing you want to be doing while you're playing any game is having to either plug it in to charge it or replace the batteries. More so if you're using Crapple, because apparently you only then have access to your keys because you have to charge it by turning it upside down. Now some have pointed out the point of it is so that you then don't use it while it's charging to help prolong the internal battery life. I would like to counter that with, no one cares. It's made by Crapple, which means people will regardless buy this nonsense because it's Crapple. If it isn't obvious enough, I have never been a fan of Crapple products beyond their MP3 players, which I will argue are one of the best ever made. But since Spotify exists, I don't need an MP3 player anymore. And in before someone says, what's an MP3 player? It's that thing you put a tape cassette in. And if you don't know what that is, just leave. For the British people in my audience, you're going to like this one next. Especially if you were born before, let's say, 2000. There were more of these back when I was a child, not so many now. Fast food restaurant chain Wimpy was trending, and it comes because of Janie Godley, who simply said, I miss Wimpy. Accompanying it is a picture of a menu, which dates you a little bit because of the price of some of those options. For example, a cheeseburger is 21p. I went to Wimpy once as a kid, and all I'd like to say now is, even though there are a few left, can we just replace all McDonald's with Wimpy? Because at least then I know when the burger is in front of me it's made of actual beef, and not from what I assume it to be made of, dog's tendons. So next we're going to go to a bad take. We see these all the time on Twitter, some somewhat hypocritical, I'll get to those another time. Others are just a bit, well, they look incredibly trad but also intolerant. So we go to Pete, unpronounceable last name. I know you can pronounce it, sure someone's going to tell me in the comments down below. Go nuts. I'm just going to call him Butters, Chasten and I are beyond thankful for all the kind wishes since first sharing the news that we're becoming parents. We are delighted to welcome Penelope Rose and Joseph August Butters to our family. Accompanying that is a lovely picture. Congratulations to, I believe, former presidential candidate Pete Butters. Underneath, though, Lila Rose. Where are the mothers? Crying emoji with a smile. My heart goes out to these infants. Does anyone else want to say it? Because the word trad comes to mind. The other is, yes, intolerant. I know we all like to believe in this whole concept of the nuclear family, but I personally take no issue with whoever it is that decides with their partner, male, female, or other, bringing children into this world and raising them together. They are a family regardless. So I can understand the criticism you got. I can also understand why many people supported you, Lila Rose. So next we're going to go to Mrs. Betty Bowers, a satirical character created by some actress. But on the Twitter account, it's a bit hard to see whether or not they are being satirical or if they're being serious. It's like Def Noodles before he decided to ditch the voice because the voice was what was the problem, and it was obviously all a character. Mrs. Betty Bowers commented under a video. During this video, a news reporter was trying to talk. People were walking past and engaging with the camera and causing issues. The majority were men. One or two were women, but Mrs. Betty Bowers regardless. If lesbianism were simply a choice, most women would look at this video of how men behave and say, "Girl, sign me up." There were some girls doing it. Here's one. The video's been deleted, by the way, so I can't show you the video, which is what I would have done if I was smart enough to download it before it got deleted. Your boy Pat. There were women in that video as well, acting the same way. But you're gonna ignore that, huh? Misandric much? The problem is, as serious as I want to take it, it comes from a satirical account, or a character account. So it's hard for me to tell whether or not they mean it or not. But then I did bother to go and look at their Twitter again, and noticed they made some comments when it came to those who own firearms and those and vaccines, and I think they're actually being quite serious. It did lead to another block. I'll save it for next week. Moving on from that, we're going to go to Mark Hamill. Yes, the legendary actor everyone knows as the voice of the Joker, who was trending on Twitter because he was challenged. Now when it comes to Mark Hamill, if you dare Mark Hamill to get Mark Hamill trending, to get Mark Hamill attention by simply tweeting out the words, 2 words no less, Mark Hamill. Mark Hamill will in fact indulge in this. He will step up to the plate, he will accept the challenge, and he will prove Lauren right. So when Lauren says, @Hamill himself, you could just tweet Mark Hamill and you'd get thousands of likes. To which Mark Hamill retweets it with Mark Hamill. And 617,000 likes later, yeah, you're right. He can in fact just tweet Mark Hamill and get thousands of likes. I think you've undersold it, to be honest. I hope you got a follow out of it. So to our final one, we go to Jeremy Kyle, a TV presenter who did a show in the mornings in the United Kingdom on ITV that we could charitably consider to be Jerry Springer light. He was trending after being cancelled about a year ago because he is rebuilding and starting a new show on talk radio, so he won't be on TV as much, although I do recall ITV did want to keep him, but the scandal surrounding those that appeared on the show and the way that he had treated the guests and so on, it would be very difficult to bring back that TV show. There were running jokes that to get people on the Jerry Springer show, you just went outside some Lidl or Aldi and rounded up the poor people and brought them on to fight each other, which is what invariably happened. Of course, you never saw any of it, because ITV was reluctant to let us watch Jeremy Kyle get knocked on his arse by a guest. I can't show the video, by the way, of him talking about being cancelled, but he does talk about the consequence idea. But I'll read a quote. "I've been cancelled. In a democracy, you should be able to say what you want." He's right, but then at the same time, he's ignoring consequence, which is something vastly different when it comes to television, and also any excuse to cancel you at this point. Someone did point out, though, on the eve of the launch of a new show on Rupert Murdoch's talk radio, you're talking about being cancelled. Jeremy Kyle is still right. He was cancelled a year ago, but to be cancelled doesn't mean that you don't have an opportunity to rebuild yourself and come back. It just takes a bit longer sometimes. And it does, to an extent, red pill those that have fallen prey to being cancelled, or whether it was being cancelled or not. In the case of Jeremy Kyle, I don't think he was cancelled. I think he was taken off the air because his show was bad, and people had finally opened their eyes because enough bad press had come its way. The show was cancelled. He was not. Let's go with that. That sounds better. Now, as we're done, I'd like to know what you all think. Please do let me know in the comments down below. Drive up the engagement by smashing the like, sharing the video, and giving me all your Dora on Patreon. Yeah, I don't do that very often. Can you imagine why yet? If I don't see you on Twitch tonight, because no political recap stream this evening, I hope you'll have a fantastic Friday and subsequent weekend, and thank you all very much for listening.